Hi there, everyone, and welcome to the Rickman Report. I'm your host, Sean Rickman, and today we're going to be talking about the Flatbush Zombies album, Vacation in Hell. This is their most recent album, and admittedly, I wasn't excited for this album. When I was in high school, I used to be actually a big fan of Flatbush Zombies. Their mixtapes, Drugs, and Better Off Dead were permanent staples on my MP3 player. And so I would listen to them quite often. Better Off Dead I would listen to almost every day for a long time, actually. And then I heard their last album, 3001 A Laced Odyssey. And it was terrible. It was so bad. It just had so many just redundant, repetitive, boring verses, just lyrics about, oh, I'm elevated, oh, I do acid. It was just... It was them trying to go in a different direction, and it just didn't work out. Anyway, let's talk about this new album. So the album starts out with Hello, sort of an intro. It is the intro. Hello, it's the intro. Right off the bat, there's some noticeably good production. Definitely starts off stronger than the last album, and definitely gave me some hope that maybe it would be better than the last album. But you still have Michi rapping about, oh, I do acid, and, saying, fuck mumble rap, and it's just boring, tacky lyrics, Eric comes in with these little small parts, and they kind of prove to be some of the best parts of the actual song itself, and Juice is also very consistent with his delivery. And by consistent, I mean it sounds like his delivery on every other Flatbush album, and you can think that's a good thing or a bad thing. Next up is Chunky. This appears to be Flatbush trying to get more experimental. Has a wacky beat, has a pretty sung chorus. Eric comes in like a whiz. He has a very strong verse. And then you're back on Meech, who honestly leaves a lot to be desired with his delivery in this song. Juice comes in with his consistency. This is a verse that I wouldn't be surprised to find on Better Off Dead, and it would feel right at home. Vacation. This song leaves a lot to be desired. Joey Badass, who's usually a rapper not to be messed with, lays down a verse that is boring, to say the least. Boring flow, boring lyrics, just boring delivery in general. Eric redeems the song partially just with the production and the beat. But this is definitely Flatbush trying to do something fresh and just falling flat, if you ask me. Meech comes in with a line saying, I just got back from Australia. And part of me wishes he had stayed there, because his verses are just getting weaker and weaker as this album progresses so far. And this theme doesn't really change much throughout this album. It's, the next song, M. Bison, or Mr. Bison, however it's supposed to be said, it just falls flat. Even Eric's rapping, which is usually a saving factor, just cannot help this track. The next song, Headstone, is a stronger track. It has a dark tone, it's got an upbeat instrumental. Michi's delivery is not boring as shit in this song, which usually it is. It's just too bad you have to get through the other songs to get to this one. But that's all I'm going to say about that. Big Shrimp. This track is terrible. Terrible. Eric's weird pitch shifted voice, the auto-tune, it's just so bad, and there's nothing redeeming about this song. Nothing. Leather Symphony featuring ASAP 12e. This song is also incredibly boring. Just kind of made me scared for the rest of the album, because out of these first 7 tracks, only 2 of them are really listenable. Now there's Real Girls featuring Bun B. This song is just boring and underwhelming. Then there's Facts featuring Jadakiss, also extremely boring. It's got a pretty beat though. Ask Courtney has almost a vaporwave feel in the beat, but the verses are just garbage. The lyrics are repetitive, they're boring. Eric just feels jaded and repetitive, which is sad to see because usually I rely on him to save these songs. So the truth is, I could talk about this whole tape, track for track. And it's just really so underwhelming all the way through. Did this tape really need to be 19 tracks long? The answer is no. It feels like they just took really good tracks and what could have been a pretty solid EP and then just added filler to make it a full length. Like, they just wanted to add girth, and you can tell that they just didn't have enough to make this a good album, and it really shows. So I'm going to give this album 2 stars out of 10. I give it 2 because it starts off strong with the first couple of tracks, but then it just dwindles so quickly. They caught my attention with the first couple of tracks, but then they made it very difficult for me to keep my attention and for me to want to listen to the whole album because it's terrible and I wouldn't recommend it. Well, thank you, everyone. This has been the Rickman Report. Mr. Pigeon follows me